and welcome to the Empower Hour. I'm Heike Fallon, your host. And did you know that giving back boosts your mental health and well-being? Yes, today's special guest I have is an amazing person and puts on these amazing fundraisers and does it with passion, purpose, and joy. And it really reflects it. And we're talking about, of course, this amazing event that she puts on, but also about how to really implement specific science-backed strategies to not burn out, to actually be able to have fun when you're doing projects or big events that you're putting on. Because at the end of the day, it's all about maintaining your own health, your well-being, and having fun along the way. So today, my special guest is Lee Boyles. And what I really love about Lee, she's a high performer and has fun doing all the things she's doing. I love that fun part that you bring into everything you do. And I'm super excited to hear more about especially your fundraising event today and other things you're doing. But Bubbles and Gown is a big event coming up very soon. So welcome, Lee, and tell us all about it.
Thank you, Heike. Well, it's just a big fun party, actually, with a philanthropy element. I always love to have parties, and I always had women over, always trying to plan the next social event, but something just really fun that women would connect with and have a good time. And I always wanted to kind of give back at the same time. So when I was younger, I think all of us search for our meaning, and a great portion of my life, I didn't really know what my meaning was. And I think we're still figuring it out throughout our whole lives. But for right now, I feel like I found my purpose in giving to charities by throwing a big party and allowing women to come from all socioeconomic backgrounds. Anyone, I keep my prices low so that everyone can come, whether it's the young moms that have kids at home and can barely get out, they're so busy, got to find a babysitter. I want to keep my prices low on things so that they can come and just really have a great time. And so far, it's going really well. I have an event called Bubbles and Ballgowns, and it's a big dress sale. Actually, it's gently pre-owned, secondhand, donated dresses. A lot of them still have tags on them. A lot of them are designer. It is not unusual for my dresses to have a $200, $300, $400 price tag on them, but they're all for sale for $25 each. And there's a price to get into the event. It's fairly low for a charity event, $35 the first month, and then the second month the prices do go up a little bit. But all money that I make on the party goes to a charity of my choice every year. And this year I've chosen charity CJ Smile, which I'm representing with the t-shirt on right here. Smile.
And we are going to put the link below. So if anybody wants to donate, in addition, maybe they can't come because you're not local, you're welcome to donate to this charity, to this event. So we will put the link down below this video.
I really appreciate that, Heike, because this is kind of a very small grassroots event. I have done, put on, promoted the entire event myself. This is my fourth year. And as you know, being a new committee member, I finally put together a committee this year to help with some things, which is going to be great for me. And my goal was actually just to be able to get home on the day of the event and have time to relax, take a shower, and not be just getting back to the event with 30 minutes to go. So I really have enjoyed working with you so far and our other members, and we meet every 2 weeks, as you know, and we're about due for another meeting this Monday. And it just really helps out because, like I said, so far it has been a labor of love, but it's a lot of work to put this event on. We usually have anywhere from 150 to 200 women there. And we have a DJ who is DJ Schleep. You can find him on Instagram at Not Schleep. He is a 21-year-old powerhouse. He has his own music that he's made.
Awesome. I danced to it last year.
he's so good. And he's just this wonderfully kind and humble person who's got a lot of talent. And I saw that in him right away. So I glommed onto him right away and asked him to DJ every event. So he's been with me this will be the 4th year. And he really, really makes my fashion show pop. We have usually 12 to 15 models. This year we have 21. So last year the feedback was that the women enjoyed the fashion show so much that they wanted to see more of it. So we've extended the fashion show, and the models all wear gently pre-owned cocktail and evening gowns, and those are for purchase as well. And after that, we have the silent auction. We have some wonderful items like a 12-person ride in the Swoop van. If you know about Swoop, El Segundo created a transportation company, young guys that created that. And so that's going to be one of the big items in my silent auction. We have a lot of women's beauty baskets, massages, haircuts, makeovers. It's just a really fun thing. When I take silent auction items that are donated, I really try to go after women's items that create excitement, that I know that people are going to want to bid on. So that's another way that I make money for the event. And all the proceeds, like I said, all the proceeds go to the charity. I barely cover my costs. Sometimes I don't cover my costs. I donate quite a bit. But yeah, it's a great event. I love my event. I know I'm biased, but
I love it. I've been there. So yeah, I love it because it's really, and as I mentioned before, it's really about the fun, right? It's about coming in, enjoying yourself, shopping. I bought some dresses, and so cheap. I mean, because some of them are really like designer dresses, and some they are all in good shape. And I know you sort through them, right? There's a little bit of pre-work going on. You're not just putting it all up there. You're actually sorting through. You really care about quality as well, which I love, because it's not about, you know, oh, here's something cheap and we go, but it's having fun, having quality, and giving back. And that is really a really cool combination for a fundraiser.
I like to say it's Gucci from Goodwill. I like to get the designer things, the beautiful things. I love the reduce, reuse, recycle aspect of it. I started when I was 15. My mom introduced me actually to thrift shopping when I was in high school and had to have the theme outfits. And so she says, oh, well, you can get so much more at Goodwill. And of course, as a 15-year-old, I thought, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. And as you can tell by my age, it was quite a couple of decades ago. But I went and bought an outfit and 2 outfits and 3 outfits. And as a teenager, saw how much farther my money would go, and that a lot of people donate things they've won once or twice or not at all. So that was another aspect of my event. I started thinking, how can I, incorporate my favorite things, my friends, fun, and shopping, and make money at it for somebody. So I scour the thrift stores all year long. Goodwill is a major contributor. Most of my gowns, Salvation Army, and I find things with tags still on. I find things that have been worn, maybe once or twice, all in great condition. And I've always had a love for fashion, so I feel like I have a good eye for that. And honestly, unless it's a size that's, 4 sizes either way of my size, I try on most of the dresses because I just kind of want to see how they fall, how they look. And so, yeah, it's me. I would say 75% of the dresses, 80% of the dresses is me shopping all year long to kind of curate a collection for this event. And each dress at the event is only $25.
Yeah, like I said, I scored a couple really cool ones. And I'm so happy because my wardrobe consists a lot of athletic clothing and stuff. So it's kind of cool to actually, get a dress that is a real high-end dress for pretty decent, cheap price. And then, it goes to a donation because all of those sales go to the donation as well, which I love. It's like you said, it's 100% donation. It's really just the location and those type of things that obviously expenses that need to be covered. The models are volunteers. You know, everybody there is volunteering, which I love, but I think it's also truly because of who you are, because you are putting so much love and energy into that. And
Yeah.
it shows. And because, you know, this is, and I know if I understand right, I wasn't there because I've been to the official events, but I think you started kind of in a small setting, just having a get together, swapping dresses. Was that the original starting point? Yeah.
Well, it was called, yeah, I'm such a theme person, and anyone who knows me knows that, like, I'll throw in a costume at almost every party I have, but no costumes for these. But I just had a party that I called the Swap and Swill. So I invited a bunch of friends and said, go through your closets, find your very best items that are just sitting there that you really don't want anymore, you know, belts, bags, accessories, whatever, dresses, pants. And so we would get together and everybody would kind of put their things on the tables, and then we'd have a, you know, glass of champagne or wine, and then we would start in and everybody would just go through and find things they liked and swap clothing, and then whatever was left over I would just donate. So that's kind of how it started, just with an in-home party. And I kind of branched off from there into cocktail and evening gowns because I don't know, I like to be fancy. I'm kind of, I have that girly thing about me. I love to dress up. So, and I had a bunch of evening gowns, and I thought, you know, why don't we just find a way that I can make money on those for people? And so people would come to my house and they would pay a small fee, like, I don't remember, $10 or $15 to get in. And then all the dresses were 25. They were on racks. And I actually miss those days because I have really fond memories of women literally running around in their underwear in every corner of my house, trying dresses on, upstairs, downstairs. But I got music cranked. I got, you know, people are having glasses of wine and just laughing and going home with an armful of cocktail dresses, and they spent $100 or $125. And the way this all came about is that I was going to have my, I don't know, third or fourth one. And I was having coffee with a friend of mine, Tony Ingram, owner of Blue Butterfly Cafe or coffee shop cafe in El Segundo. And I was telling her, oh, my party's coming up. I'm busy. I got to, you know, get these invitations out and all. And I said, you know, someday I really dream of just having a public event. I just want to make it so fun. I want to have a really good DJ, really killer music, almost like a mini New York Fashion Week, although that's really kind of a stretch, but we're getting there. And so she said, well, why not now? And I said, well, because I don't have a venue. I don't have money. I can't. And she said, well, why don't you just use our coffee roasters, the Smoky Hollow roasters in El Segundo? And I said, are you kidding me right now? And she said, no. And so I hit the pavement running. I had 2 months. I got out invitations. It makes me smile when I look back on it because it was all baby steps, and it was where this started. And I still get a kick out of the fact that, you know, I knew the elements of an event, but it was an event that people hadn't heard of. So I knew I couldn't overstep and ask too much. So I thought, okay, I probably should get some sponsors just to pay for cups and glasses and whatever at the event. And so I think I had my first year in 2019, I had 5 or 6 sponsors, and they each paid $100.
Yeah.
And I just was getting my feet wet. I thought, okay, I need to practice asking. I need to figure out, you know, how much to ask for. And like I said, nobody knew what Bubbles and Ballgowns was. And you know, sure, my closest friends would probably back me, but people that don't know about the event aren't really willing to throw money at something they don't know about.
Yeah.
So flash forward now this year, each year my sponsorships go up a little bit. I've had incredible sponsors like Neft Vodka, Chevron. I mean, and of course, HasAwayToday.com. I have to put that little plug in for our company's top sponsor this year. But this year's top tier is $2,500. And
yeah,
you know, each year, like last year, I increased the top ask to 1,000. And I thought, oh, you know what? If I get 1 or 2, I'll be thrilled. Like I just can't see it. And last year I got 10. This year I'm already on number 3 on the $2,500 sponsorships, and I wasn't even sure I would get 1. So it's thrilling. Every year it's growing. people know about it now, and I've had a couple articles in Voyage LA magazine. There's one recently.
Yeah,
that's
I
on
read
there.
that. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I have two now. I'm not really so sure why they're so interested in me, but I'm not going to say no. I love it. It kind of gets the word out about my event, and
Yes.
yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm, as you know, I'm full swing into sponsorship still, getting donated items for the silent auction. And if anyone out there has a company that wants to sponsor, please get a hold of me at bubblesandballgowns@gmail.com. Little shameless plug there.
We'll put it in the description as well to know the event is in November 30th. November. And it will be next year too. So if anybody's watching this later, after November, still reach out to Lee, because there will be an event next year and you have your chance to participate or donate or whatever you would love to be part of it next year. Yeah. But just so you know, I wasn't at your house back then. But your fun thing, you might want to peek behind the little dressing rooms that you set up, because there are little dressing rooms. We are all behind there having exactly that happening, running around, trying out, pulling the curtain away to the other one next door. Hey, what do you think? And there's people in there nowhere. And then you open the other one, go like, hey, what do you think about this dress? Oh, when you're done, can I try that one? So the whole thing is still happening. It's just happening behind those curtains. And it's so anybody who doesn't really want to buy one, just go behind there and try some on. It's hilarious.
And I always say too, because a lot of women do just buy them without trying them on. And those are oftentimes dresses that either get given to a friend, or I see them back again donated the next year, and I make double on that dress. So I'm not mad at that at all.
No, but it is fun behind the dressing curtains, by the way.
I wish I could see it. You know, last year I felt a little bit bad, or was it the year before, that we kind of had these big communal dressing rooms. And I know that not everybody is comfortable with that, but suddenly I got these comments that towards the end of the evening, people were very comfortable with it, because
it was fun. It was fun. It is hilarious, because then it's really like, oh, can I try that one on? Hey, wait a minute. Oh, you want this one? Sure, it didn't fit. So it's fun time in the changing rooms there.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. There's also been a fervor created over the models' gowns, apparently, because last year I had women lining up and texting the models backstage and like, I want that dress, the pink dress. And I had people not arguing seriously, but, you know, friendly fighting over the dresses. And just every year things start happening that just make me feel so proud and so excited to have the next one, because, you know, people talk about the imposter complex and like the stress of it all, and all that is real. You know, there are months, you know, I take a mental break from this event for 3 or 4 months, at least 5 months after the event. I don't think about it. I don't do anything about it. But about 4 months before the event, maybe 5, I start in with my ideas. I start, you know, writing things down. I start, you know, how am I going to make it better this year? How am I going to raise more money for my charity this year? And I have days where I wake up with that pit in my stomach, like, oh my God, can I do this? Can I do this? And I'll have days where I just kind of walk around like, am I going to keep doing this? And are people going to keep coming? And can I continue this? And then always something happens. I run into someone, or someone emails me, or something happens, like a Voyage LA magazine article, or there's just something that happens that just energizes me again. And I think, okay, I can do this. This is why I do it. So if you ever think that compliments don't go very far, they really do, because every time someone tells me like, this is a great event, I love your event, it buoys my spirit, and it makes me want to do it again and again and again. And last year, my charity was a Mayberry Christmas here in El Segundo, and they give families help with financial things like bills, and also Christmas presents for kids. So it was just perfect that it landed right at the holiday time. Yeah, in Christmas. And that was my largest check yet. I was able to give a $15,000 check. And, you know, for a self-run, grassroots, small event, that makes me extremely proud to be able to give a check that big, because like I said, it has been all done, the entire event put on by me for all these years. So each year I try to give a little bit more. The year before that was 10,000. So this year I'm just, fingers crossed. I probably shouldn't even mention the amount, but my goal is between 18 and 20,000. I can only get to that goal if people buy things in the silent auction, if people buy tickets, if people donate items, if people sponsor me. Those things really propel the end amount.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you said so many fantastic things. So what I want to kind of throw in here too a little bit, as you know, I'm a coach and I help people really perform at the highest level and with joy. And you definitely have the joy. And you said so many great things along the way, which is a typical high performer, right? Why not now? Getting it started, getting it going. You're taking rest, right? You're taking a break, knowing that, you know what, I got to, take care of myself. I'm not thinking about the event for 3 months. So those are all things, especially if somebody's listening and it's so inspiring. Somebody's listening to this going like, hey, I would love to do something like that too. As you starting small, start small. It's okay to start small and building it up. It's not, we look oftentimes like, oh, she's doing this event and she's got this big thing going. No, it did not start there. You started small and you were okay with starting small and sticking with it. And really working your way through it. And then also this year realizing, you know what, the event now is getting so big, I do need help because now it's getting to a level where it's starting, where is the fun part and when I'm exhausted. And so how do you recognize that for yourself? Because that is so crucial to have that awareness. When is it showing up for you? How do you know that, okay, it's getting a little much here?
Well, like I said, I think when I am skidding home from the event the day of, and I have 30 minutes to shower, dry my hair, throw some clothes on and get back to the event, and missing the VIP hour. So this year, it's really important to me to be there to greet my VIPs. The sponsors they get tickets to send friends to this event, and I want to be there. I want to have a drink. I want to talk to them. I want to thank them for coming. And I want a sense of calm about the day and the evening. So, I'll be the first to admit I'm not the best to delegate. It's not that easy for me because I am high energy, and this event is becoming not second nature, but it's getting easier each year for me because I know what I have to do. And so for me, I've always wanted to just get things done, and I would rather just do 5 things and get them done in a week rather than delegate to 5 people and then I'm not sure when it's going to get done. So I had to just really rely on faith. I'm a really big person who believes in having faith that things will work out. And I think that's one reason for my lack of extreme stress, is that I just know things are going to work out. I know it's a fun event. I know people are going to come. And I also know that they don't know exactly what goes on behind the scenes. And if one thing doesn't get done, they're not going to know about it. So I have to keep telling myself that. And I think that is important, that you have to be in control of the narrative in your mind. If you are kind of spiraling off into an area, because we all do it, you're starting to go down that road of like, I feel insecure, or I feel like I can't do this, or what if people don't buy tickets, or what if people criticize me, or, you can't do that. You have to recognize when those thoughts are creeping in, and you have to stop them. Even if you have to say it out loud, because, we all talk about mantras and what you say out loud to yourself and what your brain recognizes. And a lot of times I'll just say, Lee, stop. No, faith. We're going to have faith. And then you redirect and you start thinking positive thoughts, because that is the only way to stop negative thoughts, is to start with positive thoughts. Whether you have to say it to someone else, say it out loud, say it to the mirror, whatever you do, but it's important to speak it. And, I have a mantra that I say, and I just think it's important that we take care of ourselves and we treat ourselves kindly with respect. A lot of times I'll be, stressed or down on myself about something. And I have to stop and say, Lee, you are trying to do an incredible thing for other people. This one versus this one, and I do. I remind myself, Lee, you have devoted 4 to 6 months of your life every year to put on this event, and it all comes from my heart. It's all to be able to give money to somebody else. And for me, that's the purpose I have in life right now. I don't know if I'll one day have another purpose, but I think we have many purposes. I also, being a mom is probably my number one purpose, but this is my sort of hobby slash philanthropy slash giving back purpose.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and at the end of the day, I think we need to have something to feel proud of, and so this keeps me busy. It's a lot of fun. I love creating hype, like, my models. I love creating a fashion show. I love creating a photo shoot ahead of time to make them look and feel like real models. My DJ is fantastic. He gets them out there dancing on the runway. I bought noodles, like the styrofoam light up noodles.
Last year.
They're new for the fashion show. And I'm telling you, I felt like I was at a rock concert. I was on stage thinking, this is crazy. And I had women coming up to me and just saying, can I please model next year? And I could definitely watch more of the fashion show. And this is the most fun event that I've ever been to.
Yep.
And for me, it's still a little hard to absorb and believe, because I think to myself, oh man, you just don't get out very much. But it's not true. People have a different perspective as a guest versus you putting it on and wanting it to be perfect and working through all the details. So when someone says something to me like that, I've decided that I am just going to absolutely believe them, and then just keep trying to live up to their expectations and create an event that women love to come to.
Yeah, and you absolutely have done it. I think the numbers showed too, right? Because every year it's becoming more, and it's actually pretty known in our local area, 100%. So you definitely have created that. But I think it's also too, like you said, the passion you put in. But I love also the advice you just gave of, the mindset matters, how you approach it, understanding when you need rest, understanding that you can't burn yourself out, because we have more than one purpose, and you're also a mom, and you need to have the energy to be a mom as well. So balancing that and making sure that you take care of yourself along the way as well is so crucial. So I think that's just very important to hear for many people too, is that we all have those. It's just a matter of how we deal with it, and what do we do about it when those doubts come up, those thoughts, the limiting beliefs. I love that you go like, hey, stop, wait, gotta focus, right? But you said also a lot of fantastic things. And as you know, I'm a little brain science geek, that comes to play, because it has been shown for our happiness and well-being. And I'm going to take it, because you covered literally a bunch of fields already. Creativity. If we're creative, actually has a huge impact on our well-being. So you bringing in creativity, your passion into an event, and it literally gives you a drive and a happiness. So creativity is one big one. Giving back to community is actually shown also from a research standpoint. Giving back and having a purpose and giving back, huge for our well-being. We're making other people happy, but it's for our well-being actually really, really important to give and to be a value beyond ourselves. And there's been lots of great research out there. You covered already, managing your thoughts, right? And you talked about managing your energy and self-care. One other component too is people don't know what you had envisioned, right? And to let go. And if it's not, things don't go perfect. And that's okay, because it can't, because it's every year is different. Everything is new. Something can happen. You never know what happens, right?
Nope.
So having a vision is important, but also being okay with, you know what? It is what it is. It will all work out. We're going to make whatever comes our way, we're going to take those. And that's really a true, high performance growth mindset. And that's what I think comes in really, really well in what you portray there so much. And all of these components, again, if also somebody, wants to put in a fundraising event or other things that they do, bringing in creativity, giving back, having fun with it, managing your beliefs. All of those things are so important for our mental health, our well-being, and motivation. And that has a lot to do with, a lot is chemical release in the brain. So dopamine is one, serotonin, you name it, they're all there. But what is it for you too that when you, like, I know you mentioned already, yeah, it makes me happy, you know, when I see the people, but what is that really that you go like, that's what's really worth fighting for me there? What is the main part in an event like that where you go like, that's really gives me those goosebumps that, like, you know, that's like, ooh.
Well, it's two things, Heike. It's creating a fun event and watching women actually mingle and talk and create connections, because I think that especially during quarantine, we lost out on that, and we're having to reconstruct that. And so it was more important to me than ever after quarantine to really have an event where women could come and just mingle, talk, see each other. Yes, I love when you come to my event and spend money. I want you to spend a lot of money, all that you can give, because it goes to charity. But if you don't have money or you don't want to spend money, I still want you to come to my event. And I want you to pay for your ticket, and I want you to come in, and I want you to just mingle, see your friends, have fun, but have some place to go and have a few laughs, because psychology also has, proven that laughter is really healthy. And I don't think that people get to laugh enough. And so, yeah, that is the first thing, is just watching people have fun and creating that and being responsible for that. But truly being able to give a check to somebody who really needs it is the best feeling in the world. And I purposely vet my charities based on who I think really needs the money, like someone who would be really grateful to have my donation. Because if you're getting big grants from corporations and you've got $1 million budget and you've got that's not my cup of tea. I want little mom and pop, small nonprofits, or organizations that really would just be thrilled to get my check, because that to me is so touching, because it's a lot of work. I mean, managing, creating the fashion show, curating the clothing for that set, deciding on all the music, organizing the volunteers, just bringing the whole event to life. It is all consuming. My husband likes to say that, like, everything is Bubbles for, like, he says 6 months because he exaggerates, but for 3 months I am like, okay, family, get your own dinner, or I have a meeting, so I'm not here for breakfast. But it's not that bad. But I truly enjoy it. My husband will say to me, like, stop working on that. I said, oh my gosh, it's all consuming. And I said, but you don't understand. I love it. I love it. And
it gives you energy. And that's really what it is, right? We need to understand too what gives us energy. Yes, it's a lot of work, but you're getting so much out of it. And again, but you're also managing very well. Okay, I need 3 months off afterwards, right? I need that time off, and then family gets it all.
Yeah, that's right. Right. That's right. No mention of Bubbles. Yeah, no, I think balance is the key, and I think that, I mean, if there's anybody out there that is feeling like you want to have a purpose or wanting to start their own fundraiser, I mean, I am always happy to talk to people. If they want to meet for a coffee or discuss ideas, I think that's how things are born. And I get excited about people who want to create something. I was the same way. I wanted to create something, but I had no idea how to do it. And like you say, it's not created overnight. You figure it out along the way. You just have a vision, and you know how you want things to look and sound and feel. And you just kind of start taking steps in that direction. And I always tell my kids, when they feel stress or anxiety or have issues with anything, don't look at the big picture. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Take one day at a time. If it's 1 hour at a time, if it's one task at a time, because that way, when you accomplish something, you feel good and you can move on to the next task. But I think so often people take the entire pie, and they're thinking, I can't do this. How would I ever do this? It's not done like that. It's each day. I mean, I have lists for myself, and sometimes I go to bed, I'm down on myself, and I say, geez, I wanted to get this amount of stuff done today on Bubbles. And for your mental health, some days it's just not possible. And so if I get 2 or 3 things done, I get 5 emails sent out to sponsors. You know what? I praised myself at the end of the day. I said, well, it wasn't exactly as much as I wanted, but hey, I did it. So
Yeah.
you have to count the wins, not the losses.
I love that, because we're back to the neuroscience there, right? The little steps. Yes, we hear all these strategies. Now it's really working because of neurotransmitter releases in the brain. When you are actually finishing something, there is a neurotransmitter release that gives us a peace of mind, makes us feel good, right? Dopamine is one. There's lots of other ones, but when you do really one thing at a time, think of step by step by step. The reason why that works is because of how we're wired and how things work. And you said one huge thing, and celebrating yourself, even the things. I used to be also the overambitious, like, oh, I'm going to get all this done today. And then at the end of the day, I was sitting there going like, oh, great. It wasn't even half, but I had to also realize it was A, overambitious, and B, no, look at the things that you accomplished. And I started actually celebrating each day now, like because celebration is another one where we can just utilize our brain for our health and well-being. Literally with that simple thing, at the end of the day, go, you know what? Dang, I did get that email out that I was dreading for like the last week. You know what?
Yep.
That might seem simple, but you got it out, you got it done, and acknowledge yourself makes a huge difference for staying really well. Let's say well healthy. I don't want to say balanced because it's a constant journey,
Yeah.
but being really on the trajectory of the well-being and mental health, rather going in the up, rather going down. So you can do with these little things a lot. And that's, I think, what people don't realize. Like, yeah, that was not a big deal. No, it was. And even if it doesn't seem like a big deal, if you do acknowledge yourself, you're doing yourself a favor, because you're just realizing what we have already wired and how our brain functions. So that's a component I love about that. And yes, those are all fantastic things that, you know, anybody doing an event or any bigger projects, this applies to basically anything really. But I love all this. Is there anything else that you would love to share right now? I think this was fantastic. I mean, so much value in this. Anything else where you go like, oh, I like a big takeaway, or it doesn't have to be a big takeaway, but something that, I mean, you're so inspiring, but is there something that you have for anybody listening here as a great takeaway?
I think just always try to do for others, because I think we get into our heads so often, and there are a lot of negative thoughts, and you have to think about, how would I speak to my children? How would I speak to my friends? And don't speak to yourself in a way that you wouldn't speak to them. You want to care for yourself. You want to try to be positive. And I try to, you know, life isn't all fluffy roses and beautiful bubbles. I mean, there are days when you feel down. There are days that you're hard on yourself. That's okay. That's part of the human condition. But I think it's really important that when you recognize that those thoughts are creeping in, that you really try to come from a positive perspective, because glass is half full is always going to get you farther than glass is half empty. And it really affects your mental health, which affects your physical health and can shorten your life. So all those things that you and nutritionists and everybody preach about, the enough sleep and enough water, and, you know, try to be around people who are positive. All those things are totally true. And I work on them every day. I still work on getting enough sleep. It's a challenge for me, because I'm kind of like the Energizer Bunny. And once everyone goes to sleep at night, I want to be up doing things and tinkering, because it's so quiet. And I love a quiet house at night. So, you know, my husband's going to bed at 10 and I'm going to bed at midnight. And so I've really been trying really hard to get more towards 11. And eventually I'm going to do it. I'm not going to say maybe. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get till 10 or 10:15. But you just have to keep trying to do your best. And at the end of the day, if you don't get enough hugs, this is something dorky I do, but
yes.
I literally will hug myself when I go to bed at night. I'll just wrap my arms around myself and give myself a big hug. And I'll say, you did great today.
Yep. Yep. Awesome. I love that one. Yes. Hugs and self hugs. Another great way. But that was awesome, Lee. This is fantastic. I'm so excited about the event coming up, and so much wisdom too on how to handle it behind the scene and how to really keep everything going, because you are truly a high performer that is having fun, because that's at the end of the day what it is. We don't want to burn out. We don't want to, this should not be burnout, stress. And as you said, coming from, COVID times, so many people are more stressed out. This is really about, we need to learn again it's a journey. We have to work on it. It's skills that we can learn. There's lots of ways to actually learn these skills. You have implemented a lot of them already, which I think is so fantastic, but that shows, right? That's where me as an attendant feel it, because you are putting that true passion in there. You're doing it with joy, and you're making sure behind the scenes that you're taking care of yourself. And I think that is a key component for success. And I'm so happy you came and shared that all with me today, and everybody out there who's going to watch this. There will be all the information below this video to reach out to Lee, particular for the event coming up. But also, if you're watching this later again, the information is still there. It's still valid. So you can, the years to come, it's gonna be amazing. And I'm super excited about it. So thank you, Lee, for being here today. It was a pleasure, and I'm excited. I can't wait for the event.
Well, thank you very much, Heike. I'm really honored to be here, and I just feel really blessed that I get to do something I really love and try to make a difference. So I just encourage everybody to do that. Bite off a task, like dream a little bit, and you can do it. I mean, you can do it.
I love it. Dream a little bit. There you go. That's what we're going to leave the people with. Dream a little bit. So that was the Empower Hour. Thank you, Lee. And till the next episode.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye.